Hello everyone and welcome back to Starlight News. We have another great episode for you today. We will be talking with our 6th grade math teacher, Ms.Mack, and as always, we have the Woman of the Week. So now we'll start off with our interview with Ms. McLaurin. Enjoy!
Hello, I am honored to be interviewed for Starlight News, so thank you for the opportunity. I am Miss McLaurin, but everyone calls me Miss Mack, and I teach 6th grade math here at Ann Richards. I am actually from Louisville, Kentucky, so I moved to Austin, Texas over the summer. And what brought me here was I want to go back to school to get my doctorate's degree. And so when I was looking at programs, I saw a program in Austin that I liked. So then the next step was to find a teaching position. And when I came across Ann Richards, I just loved the concept of a school that focused on women in STEM. So being a woman, teaching math, I have a race and genders degree. Like, I just thought that it was a perfect fit. Like, I was destined to be here and a part of the Ann Richards team and staff. And yeah, I just think it's really cool. We don't have like anything like this in Kentucky. So
So we'd like to recognize how successful you are at such a young age. So how do you feel like your age impacts your teaching and your relationship with your students?
So I was hired as a teacher when I was 21 years old. So I got a pretty early start in my career. And at first it was a little weird just kind of being close in age with those that I'm teaching. Obviously not that close, but sisters or older siblings are my age, that kind of thing. But relationship building is like my favorite part of teaching. I think it's the most important. So being younger, I'm definitely able to relate to my kids a little bit more, maybe even have a little bit more patience because I feel like I understand things that might be going on, or kind of like, yeah, I kind of used to do that. It wasn't that long ago that that was me. So a little bit more empathetic, sympathetic, and yeah, so it just really helps me do my favorite part of teaching, which is build those connections and relationships.
All right, and my next question is, how has your community shaped the person you are today, and how does that reflect in your teaching?
So again, from Louisville, Kentucky, my community back home actually showed me that as a Black person, um, we're more than what society or like the media portrays us to be. Like, I was fortunate to see successful Black women and men, organizations, events, all of that good stuff. And so it really helped me, or helped motivate me to be more than what the world would say that I can be. And so as a teacher, that's something that I always try to instill in my students. Not even just from a racial background, but just in general. Like, the world, we have stereotypes, we have the media that shows people in certain lights, pushing a certain narrative. And you can be and do more than what you might see, what your family might say, or what friends might say, or what you might see in the media. You can just be more. Like, you don't have to let that define you.
So our next question is, how do you think that race and gender studies, since you studied them in college, how do you think that can be applied to our curriculum?
So the best option, I think, would be for those to be classes that are taught in school, like not just a chapter or a unit, but a whole class dedicated to it. The same way you might have US history or uh, world history, world cultures, or anything like that. Like, have a class that is geared towards learning about a different racial group. Like, I personally didn't learn anything other than slavery about my people until I went to college. And unfortunately, not everyone has the opportunity to go to college. So I think it's pretty sad that those types of classes aren't around through K through 12. So, I mean, I think that the best option would be to have classes that teach you about different racial groups, different things that focus on a woman's experience, because everyone's experience is unique to them, whether it's because of race, religion, gender identity, anything like that. And especially when they all come together. So the intersectionality of it, so me being a Black woman is different than just someone else that's maybe a white woman or an Asian woman or a Latinx woman. So just having those classes, even if it's optional, like an elective, you have plenty of elective choices, let that be one of those. If we can't do that, then definitely having time in the curriculum where that is what you're covering, not just during Black History Month, but it can be at the beginning of the year, having those books, having those discussions. Even if it's not a book, there's plenty of articles out there that talk about different things that women might face and the challenges that are different than men. So like we might know these things, but like really looking deeper into why that is, how that started, how severe it is, I think is really important. So if we can't have a class dedicated to it, definitely a chunk of the school, like the curriculum taught that school year, should be dedicated towards something along those lines.
We have our last question for you today.
Okay.
Do you have any words of wisdom for Black students or students in general?
I would say be the author of your life, because if you aren't, someone else will be. So don't let someone else tell you what you can and can't do, what you can and can't be, how successful you can or can't be. Like, don't let anyone tell you about yourself or tell you what you're capable of. Tell yourself it. You write your own life. You write your own story. Don't give anyone else the power to do that.
Those are such wise words. Thank you, Ms.Mack, for your time and just for talking with us in general and for being such a wonderful teacher and coming to our school. We're so thankful. And with that, we want to end our interview.
Thank you all. I really appreciated this opportunity to just share a little bit about me.
This week's Woman of the Week is someone who played an important role in the NAACP and the Civil Rights Movement. She's also known for founding the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Do you know who she is?
Ella Baker walked so Stacey Abrams could run. Trudy Joseph and Callan Mathis said that if Martin Luther King Jr. was the head of the civil rights movement, Ella Baker was its backbone. She was a very important person in the NAACP and the SCLC and founded the SNCC, one of the most important organizations in the civil rights movement. Born on December 13, 1903, Ella Baker developed her passion for social justice from her grandmother, who told her stories of her time as a slave. Baker's pride and independence was instilled in her by her grandmother as she told the young Baker of how she rebelled against her enslaver and refused to marry the man that her master chose for her, despite the horrible consequences. From 1940 to 1943, Baker worked in the NAACP as a field secretary, raising funds and recruiting members. In 1957, she joined the Southern Christian Leadership Conference at Martin Luther King Jr.'s request as its executive director. She organized many campaigns, particularly the Crusade for Citizenship, which is a voter registration initiative. She left the organization in 1960 because she disagreed with the One Great Leader policy and believed that they should uplift the general public in order to lead themselves. Baker also believed that young people were one of the most important parts of the civil rights movement and was well known for her founding of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee.
Ella Baker worked a lot behind the scenes to propel the civil rights movement forward, and she always stayed true to her values throughout her work. Now we want to leave you with a quote from her to remind you you don't have to be in the spotlight to be making a difference. She said, "You didn't see me on television, you didn't see news stories about me. The kind of role that I tried to play was to pick up pieces or put together pieces out of which I hoped organizations might come. My theory is strong people don't need strong leaders."
Thank you for joining us on Starlight News. Since we didn't get the chance to do the February Random Acts of Kindness Challenge, every week we'll be giving you guys something to do to show your kindness to others. This week we'd like you to show your appreciation to your teachers. If you have an idea in mind, go for it. But if you need a little inspiration, a simple thing you can do is at the end of class, unmute yourself or type in the chat something kind to your teachers. We hope you have a great week and we'll see you next time. Bye!